Okay guys, welcome back to a slightly different video today. We have a bike in front of us, but don't worry, it's a BMW bike. This is actually a BMW R 1250 GS, circa 17 grand probably. This is my new long-termer from BMW Motorrad UK. Which I'm massively excited and chuffed about. As some of you might have known, I passed my full bike license almost 12 months ago today. I haven't really spent much time on a bike since then. In fact, very, very little. I think I've ridden a bike twice. Neil from Motorrad UK very kindly said that he would send me this for a few months to get me properly back up to speed. So I have lots of adventures and stuff, at least in my head, planned on this bike. I'm going to call this my first ride, but actually I rode it back from Farnborough HQ yesterday. There's about 2 hours from there to where I live. Stopped once on the way. A lot of A and B roads, a lot of motorway. But I didn't want to put the cameras on for that ride because I needed to focus completely, as I do today. And also, I've been playing around with the mic and the camera setup all morning today. So hopefully you can hear me now, and hopefully you can hear me on the move, and it's not too windy or difficult to understand what I'm saying. Although that might be a good thing, because I'm not claiming to know that much about motorbikes, except for the fact that I learnt how to ride, or I passed my test on a 850 GS, and my instructor Ian very kindly let me drive or ride his 1250 GS back from the test centre. So I've got fond memories of these bikes, and being someone who's 6'4", that's 193, I need a bigger bike. Unfortunately, a lot of smaller sports bikes I will struggle with. Anyway, before we get on the bike, I also want to say a big shout out to RST, who have sent me gloves, jackets. These jeans are actually riding jeans. I don't know if you can see them on the camera. Boots, and a number of other things. I've got a lovely Bell helmet on as well, carbon helmet, which is way better than I am. All the gear, no idea, you can almost say, but I do have an idea because Ian and his colleagues taught me a lot during that 7-day course. And I had a recent 1-day advanced course as well. Anyway, let's get on the bike. So, you get on the bike, you swing your right leg over the back, kick that, stand up. When we press the start button, it's keyless start, so the key is in my pocket, zipped away. We have Motorrad nav here, but that's, I think it's Garmin, make that. And then below is the dashboard, which is very familiar graphics to what I'm used to in a car, and there's lots and lots of things going on there, lots of different menus, and in fact you can cycle through many of them using this here. This is actually what I would refer to as an iDrive controller. Essentially, that's kind of what it is, but there's loads of stuff on there, some of which I'm familiar with, other stuff I'm not yet. We have an adjustable wind deflector here. That's set right to the top because I am tall. All the ride height and stuff at the moment is set to auto, so it should self-level. So if I've got someone on the back, then it won't sit on its arse, it'll actually self-level. And we've got various riding modes. We're going to start in road and have a play around. So we're in neutral, but I always pull the clutch anyway, then hit the starter button here. There we go. That lovely 1250 twin fires into life. We're looking at about 136 horsepower or something. Plenty of power, considering this weighs about 250 kilos, 350 with me on it. That's still a massive power to weight ratio. Right, so then we put left foot down into first gear, right foot on the brake, and the clutch is on the left here, and we just feed the clutch out, a bit of accelerator, and off we go. Checking over our shoulder. That's one thing that you need to do on a bike for sure. Yeah, just it's the dream machine, this thing, it really is. Positioning ourselves at the junction in the direction that we want to go. This is quite a busy junction, so we might be waiting a few minutes. I reckon we can go out now. Okay, here we go. So hopefully you can hear me now still. Tone's probably changed a bit because I pulled the visor down. It's quite a windy day as well, so no idea what this is going to sound like. Keeping an eye out for everything. Naturally, I'm far more aware of things on this bike than I am in a car because, well, I have very little around me to protect, and I have to react to things much quicker than I would do in a car. But the flip side is, when you're on a bike like this, you get such a good view of the road and the surroundings around you that it's actually really nice. I've just been down here in the M3, and because of the sort of state of the overgrowth at the moment, it's really hard to see when you get to corners, whereas on this, well, you can see a lot more. So yeah, it's brilliant. We do have cruise control down here as well, but I won't be using that on a road like this. I did use it on the motorway yesterday, and it's great. It's brilliant. Just means you can relax your throttle hand, but obviously fully keeping an eye out for everything in the meantime. So should we review this like I would review a car? Well, I guess so. Driving position, or in this case riding position, well, it's very, very comfortable. It's designed to fit all shapes and sizes, and I'm in no doubt that it would. I feel very natural in here, almost like I'm on my old downhill bike or something. It feels great. We've already talked about how great the view is, and yeah, it makes riding a bike like this an absolute joy. We're in road at the moment, so the suspension's set up relatively plush, I guess you'd say. But we can ramp that up to dynamic if we want. I'm guessing it's going to stiffen up, probably give us slightly better throttle response. It's got loads of torque, this bike. We're in 6th gear, which is top gear, but you pull on it and it just it's so quick. So quick, and that's in 6th gear. It's unreal. Brakes are really good. Obviously we've got right brake up here with my right hand, and front brake up here with my right hand, and rear brake is down here on my right foot. Tend to use rear brake for most things on the road when I'm slowing down at a normal pace, but when I'm pushing on, or if I need to stop quickly, you use the front brake as well. See here, like that. In a car I probably wouldn't have even touched the brakes there, I would have come off the accelerator. But on a bike, you've just got to be cautious, because if he pulled out there, there wouldn't be much I could do. Look at that pothole, massive. Again, in a car, well, you might be unlucky and get pinched for that, but if you hit that on a motorbike, wow, I dread to think what would happen, even on something like this. As we come into a 40, I was taught to always apply your brakes just in case there's someone behind you, because these things have got so much engine braking, but obviously if you just use the engine braking, the people behind you don't really know that you're slowing down necessarily. You've probably seen from the flinch of my head that I've been checking my mirrors a lot on this ride. You always want to know what's going on behind you in case you need to do an emergency stop, or you just don't know. You don't know who's on the road, and I had someone tailgating me yesterday and it wasn't much fun out of here. Oh, it's just so fast. But the nice thing with this bike is you don't feel, at least I don't, because I'm so new to riding, I don't feel like I need to be going super fast all the time. It's just nice to cruise around on, especially on a day like today. 17 degrees outside, perfect riding weather. Look at that little thing, towering over that. In fact, talking about towering over, I think I'm higher than pretty much any SUV and certainly car out there on the road. Probably similar to what it would be like in a truck cabin or something. In terms of changing gear, so I think it's called a quick shifter box. You can pull away in first using the clutch, as we did when we left the car park, and then it's just a case of moving your foot up or down depending on what gear you want to be in. You don't need to use that clutch at all. You can, but you don't need to, and that is such a saviour, really is. So coming into here, I'm just smashing down the box myself into fourth, 30 miles an hour, 30 limit. Of course, you got cars right up your chuff, because how dare you do 30 in a 30 limit? This is great. It really is. Oh, I love being. There's another biker. Let's see if he gives me a head shake. Yeah, little head twist. So I've got to get down with the lingo here. And now when you come up to something like this, you got to remember that you basically, unless you're rolling, you got no balance. I've got a little bit of balance for my mountain bike days, but not loads. So as it's downhill here, I've got quite close to that car in front, but if it was uphill or flat, I wouldn't. I'll let these people go. You want to go? You've got to always remember that people can't necessarily hear you because of the bike and other sounds around you. So yeah, let's go left here. There we go. Got to remember to cancel your indicator as well. And in fact, we're going to loop around here. Check that blind spot, because there's no point in, what am I doing being in a town? Let's get out of here. Because that wasn't completely blind, that junction, I was able to roll up to it, and there was a certain amount of room where I could commit to, has this person seen me, hasn't looked over, certain amount of room where I could commit to either stopping or continuing on. Some junctions are blind, and I've been taught very well, when it's blind, just stop. You're going to lose 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 5. But yeah, last minute, check over your blind spot just in case someone decides to come flying down you outside, doesn't see your indicator. We're going to head out towards Stowe here. This is a beautiful section of road. Beautiful visually, but full of potholes, just like most of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire. Tesla. Now I think at 60 odd miles an hour you might be getting quite a lot of wind noise, so in fact if we slow it down a little bit here to 50 odd miles an hour, I'll demonstrate the cruise control. So I've turned it on, and now let's do set. So there you go. Set 44 miles an hour, no one behind, no one in front, hand off. It's sitting at 44 miles an hour, and I can increase that or decrease it using this tab down here, just like in a car. It's amazing how many features and functions these modern bikes have got, especially something like this GS, just incredible. You now join me arriving at Stowe, which is a National Trust estate. It's fantastic for walks, and they have a good little cafe and stuff here. Looks relatively quiet today, probably because it has just closed. Oh, we're going to go off-road. Well, that doesn't matter because we're on a GS, and this is a GS's sort of favoured surface, if you like. Well, it's not. The road is a favoured surface, but yeah, this bike will not have any issues on gravel and dirt tracks like this. Even the tyres, I believe, they look like road biased rubbers and tread pattern, but they are some form of all-terrain tyres. They're not like total road tyres. I think they call them adventures or something. Who knows? I've got all this to learn. See there, first to second. We'll get around here because there's usually pedestrians on the road here. No, he's enjoying himself over there, having some evening sunshine and maybe a few peanuts and a quick drink. Talking of drink, it's always good to have a big swig of water or something before you go out for a ride. Maybe not a big swig just before you go out for a ride, but just make sure you're hydrated during the morning or the day if you're deciding to go out for more than an hour or something, because you can dehydrate yourself very quickly on the bike, and as you can imagine, it's very hard to fix that situation once you're out and about and you're on the move. I think the worst thing you could do is go out for a ride and then figure out you're thirsty sort of 10 minutes in, because it's a big faff. There's a lot of faffing on bikes. You don't just grab your car keys and go out for a ride. There's a lot of faffing, especially when you're trying to film a YouTube video. Yeah, second gear is definitely better than neutral. Right, we'll go right here. So again, I can see left there for miles, but nothing on the right. In fact, there's a car coming, so I've lined myself up best as possible. And once this is gone, I know there's nothing coming. Kill that indicator, engage second, and off we go. Again, this is a bit of a sketchy junction. It's a bit blind, so just take it easy and oh wow. I mean, for experienced motorcyclists like my good friend Chris Baron von Grumble, in fact a massive shout out to him, because he was one of the big inspirations behind me getting my bike license. Yeah, for someone like him, I mean, okay, he doesn't say the GS is slow, but he's ridden some seriously fast sports bikes with over 200 horsepower that weigh probably 80 kilos, 100 kilos less than this. So I've never experienced that sort of fast, but I mean, this is as fast as any really fast road car I've ever driven. I would say with the right rider on it, up to 100 miles an hour, it's probably quicker than my M3 Touring, which is quick enough when you consider the tiny contact patch that you have on a motorbike. Well, we're in a 60 limit here. Doesn't mean we need to be doing 60, but we also don't need to be doing 35. But I've still got to be aware I've got to keep my distance. It's all a little bit windy up here. There's no clear overtakes. There is once we get around this right-hander at the top, so let's see how that fares. And I'll demonstrate the torque of this monster. Might be in fourth, but I mean, I could probably be in first at 40 odd miles an hour. Oh, Range Rover coming in hot. People just don't seem to see you, and I don't understand why, because I've got about 16 different headlights in the front of this bike. Okay, that's a big queue of traffic, so I'm just gonna pull back for a bit until there's a gap, because if I'm close to the car in front, especially with trucks and stuff, there's nothing I can see, just like when you're in a car really. But if I'm back here, sort of, I don't know, 6 to 8 car lengths back, I can see a long way in front. There's no point and no way I'm going to commit into this right-hander. But once again, once we get around this right-hander and avoid some of these monstrous potholes, and over this brow, then there might be another overtaking opportunity. See, I could go for the overtake here, but as with so many people that sit way below the speed limit, as soon as you get to a long straight where it is safe to overtake, they accelerate up towards the speed limit. It's fantastic. Really helpful. Wow, that was an S2000 with a big wing on the back of it. And now we're back down to cycling pace again. Okay, here we go. Nope. Once again, they accelerate as we come out that corner. Well, on the right hand side, and in fact the left hand side now, we have lots of, well, some are temporary camping grounds and some are permanent, as far as I know. Venues, etc. That's a permanent venue in there for when there's big events on at Silverstone, because, well, we're approaching Silverstone now. You can see the footbridge above there, and in fact you can see some of the grandstands just in front of us behind those hedges. Again, stuff you just wouldn't necessarily see in the car. Lovely, lovely jubbly. 60 limit. This is a nice bit of road actually, these roundabouts. Once again, there are some big potholes around, so you just got to be careful. All of these industrial estates that are left here are full of very expensive things. Lots of race teams. Lotus, KTM are in there. Fantastic. Right, this time I'm going to come around here. And I think I'm going to peel into this car park and actually call it a day with this video. So hopefully you've enjoyed this first ride video. As I say, I'm not sure how this is going to come out. I'm not sure if the sound is okay. I really don't know. I hope it is. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Let's put it into neutral if I can. There we go. Kill that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I've certainly had a lot of fun making it, and I'm going to continue to have a lot of fun on this fantastic bike. Visor open now, so you're probably going to hear slightly different pitch. But yeah, that has been me and my first ride on the fabulous R1250 GS. What a piece of kit. What a fantastic bike. Thanks so much to BMW Motorrad UK. Thanks so much to Neil. Massive thanks once again to my good friend Chris, or Baron von Gramble, 44 Teeth, best motorbiking YouTube channel on the internet. And a huge thanks to RST for supporting me with lots of lovely gear, which is necessary and essential on a motorbike. Till the next one, guys, take it easy. See if you can see my eyes and face through here. I don't know if you can. Goodbye.